You descend in a submersible, lights cutting through absolute black, pressure crushing the hull from all sides at nearly 11,000 meters down the bottom of the Mariana Trench, the deepest scar on Earth. The seafloor here is alien, ghostly white sediment, bizarre creatures drifting like forgotten dreams. Then something shifts in the gloom. A shadow too large, too purposeful, glides just beyond your floodlights. A dorsal, fin taller than your vessel, slices silently through the dark. One flash of teeth, serrated, triangular, unmistakable, and it vanishes into the abyss. Your instruments spike wildly before going silent. No proof, no trace. Just the chilling certainty that something ancient still hunts these forbidden depths. For centuries, science has declared Megalodon extinct, vanished around 3.6 million years ago as oceans cooled and great whale prey dwindled. Fossil teeth stop appearing in the record, nurseries fall silent, and the megatooth shark fades into legend. Yet whispers persist. Sailors speak of submarine encounters with creatures longer than ships. Fishermen haul up teeth too fresh, too pristine to belong to fossils. And in the age of deep-sea exploration, strange sonar returns and fleeting video glimpses fuel one tantalizing question. What if Megalodon never truly left? What if a remnant population retreated to the one place humanity cannot follow, the crushing darkness of the Mariana Trench? Less than 5% of the global ocean floor has ever been explored in detail. The Mariana Trench alone stretches longer than the distance from Miami to New York, plunging deeper than Mount Everest is tall. Pressure here reaches 8 tons per square inch, enough to crush a car like paper, yet life thrives in ways that defy imagination. Tube worms cluster around hydrothermal vents, giant amphipods scavenge the abyss, and sleeper sharks prowl slowly through the cold. If any prehistoric survivor could adapt to this realm, Megalodon stands as the prime candidate. Here are 5 theories that refuse to let the monster die, each rooted in real science, unexplained anomalies, and the vast unknown that still cloaks our planet's final frontier. The first theory begins with the sheer scale of the unexplored. We know more about the surface of Mars than the bottom of our own oceans. Submersibles have visited the Challenger Deep, the trench's lowest point, only a handful of times. James Cameron's historic dive in 2012 lasted mere hours. Victor Vescovo's expeditions mapped small sections, yet entire valleys and canyons remain unseen. Creatures once declared extinct have reappeared from lesser depths. The coelacanth, presumed gone for 65 million years, was caught alive off South Africa in 1938. Thriving in deep canyons untouched by human eyes. Frilled sharks, goblin sharks, and megamouth sharks, all primitive, rarely seen emerge occasionally from the dark like living fossils. If a warm water giant like Megalodon faced surface cooling during the Pliocene, a population could have followed descending cold currents deeper, generation after generation, until the trench became refuge. Smaller body sizes, slower metabolism, and reduced activity could sustain them on sparse deep-sea prey squid, sleeper sharks, fallen whale carcasses drifting down like manna from above. In a world where 95% of the habitat remains hidden, absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. The second theory centers on the teeth, the most enduring signature of Megalodon. Millions wash up on beaches worldwide, but some discoveries defy easy explanation. In 2018, researchers published findings of Megalodon teeth dredged from deep Pacific sediments with manganese coatings far thinner than expected for millions of years of burial. Thin coatings suggest the teeth lay exposed on the seafloor for mere thousands of years, not millions. Critics argue ocean chemistry or upwelling could explain it, yet the debate lingers. Divers off California and Australia occasionally report finding Megalodon teeth that appear unnaturally, fresh edges still sharp, enamel gleaming, no heavy fossilization. One private collector in the early 2000s claimed a tooth pulled from 3,000 meters with tissue traces still adhering, though never formally studied. If a breeding population survives in the trench, teeth shed during normal growth could drift upward on currents or be carried by scavengers, occasionally reaching shallower depths where we find them. Each fresh specimen becomes a breadcrumb leading back to the abyss, hinting that the shark still sheds its weapons somewhere in the dark. These two theories alone keep the flame alive, but deeper mysteries wait below sonar ghosts, fleeting video anomalies, and biological possibilities that stretch the limits of what we believe possible. The trench guards its secrets fiercely, and Megalodon may guard them harder. Descend further with us, the next theories grow stranger, the evidence more elusive, and the shadows longer. The abyss is calling, and something down there may finally be answering. The third theory dives into the ghosts that haunt military and scientific sonar screens. Over decades, navies and research vessels have recorded massive biological signatures in deep trenches, blips far larger than any known creature. In the 1960s, U.S. Navy submarines tracking Soviet movements picked up unexplained echoes in the Pacific abysses, moving targets over 60 feet long, cruising at depths where whales cannot venture. Declassified logs from the Cold War era describe unidentified large organisms that shadowed subs for hours before vanishing into deeper voids. More recently, in 2014, a British research ship mapping the Mariana Trench detected a sonar return estimated at 50 to 70 feet, traveling against currents at speeds no whale carcass or known shark could match. Marine biologists dismissed many as whale falls or equipment glitches, yet patterns persist. The trench's unique acoustics layers of temperature and salinity bending sound waves could mask smaller populations, scattering signals until only occasional giants register. If Megalodon adapted a slower, more energy-efficient lifestyle in the food-scarce abyss, it might appear only rarely on screens, a phantom presence that operators log and then quietly file away. These acoustic shadows refuse to fade, whispering that something of immense size still claims the trench as territory. The fourth theory explores biology's strangest loophole, the possibility of deep-sea adaptation and hidden evolution. Megalodon was partially warm-blooded, like great whites and makos today, an endothermic edge that let it hunt in varied temperatures. As surface oceans cooled 3 million years ago, driving the species toward extinction in the fossil record, survivors could have followed plunging cold currents deeper, generation by generation. Over millennia, selective pressure might have sculpted a new subspecies, smaller adults to conserve energy, paler skin for camouflage and eternal night, enhanced lateral lines to sense pressure changes instead of light. Deep-sea gigantism works in reverse. For some species, crabs and isopods grow larger in the abyss, but for a shark already colossal, the trench could sustain reduced sizes on a diet of giant squid, sleeper sharks, and nutrient-rich detritus raining from above. Hydrothermal vents provide warm oases scattered across the trench floor, pockets of chemical energy where bacterial mats feed ecosystems independent of sunlight. A cold-adapted megalodon could patrol these vents like a silent shepherd, ambushing six-gill sharks or scavenging whale falls that sink intact to the bottom. Genetic bottlenecks might have forced rapid changes, creating a cryptic offshoot so diverged from surface ancestors that we would not recognize it immediately, yet those serrated teeth would betray its lineage. Biology has resurrected extinct species before. The nocturnal parrot assumed gone for centuries, rediscovered in 2022. In the trench's crushing dark, evolution might have granted Megalodon not death, but a shadowed rebirth. These theories tighten the net of possibility, blending hard data with the ocean's stubborn refusal to reveal itself fully. Yet the fifth and most provocative idea waits in the deepest void, one that ties together ancient myths, modern encounters, and the trench's role as Earth's last true wilderness. Some anomalies defy rational dismissal: fleeting shapes on rare deep camera footage, submarine crews swearing to glimpses through viewports, patterns that suggest intelligence guiding the avoidance. The abyss has swallowed far stranger truths before. Descend one final time with us. The last theory may change how you see every dark wave forever. Something down there knows we are watching, and chooses when to watch back. The fifth and most provocative theory weaves together threads from human history itself, ancient myths of sea monsters, modern unexplained encounters, and the possibility that Megalodon survivors have not just hidden, they have learned to evade us deliberately. Across cultures and millennia, stories persist of colossal sharks or serpent sharks that devour ships whole. Polynesian legends speak of a guardian spirit called Mano Kihi Kihi, a shark longer than canoes with teeth like obsidian blades. Scandinavian sagas describe the Hafgufa, a beast that lurks beneath the waves, mistaking it sometimes for an island until it rises to feed. Even the biblical Leviathan part serpent, part sea dragon bears descriptions echoing a massive predator with rows of terrible teeth. These tales predate paleontology by thousands of years, yet align eerily with Megalodon's reconstructed form. Could oral traditions have preserved eyewitness accounts from coastal peoples who encountered the last surface-dwelling giants before they retreated deeper? Fast forward to our era, and the reports grow uncomfortably specific. Submarine crews bound by classification but leaking stories through retired channels describe close encounters in deep trenches worldwide. One widely circulated account from a 1990s U.S. Navy nuclear sub claims the vessel was paced for hours in the Pacific Abyss by a biological target too large for any whale, moving with purposeful intelligence, matching speed, changing depth and sink, then abruptly vanishing when sonar went active. Another incident, allegedly from a French sub in the 2000s, involved external cameras capturing a fleeting silhouette, broad head, high dorsal fin, tail stroke far too powerful for known species before the feed cut to static amid hull groans from sudden pressure shifts. Commercial deep-sea operations occasionally log similar anomalies, remotely operated vehicles damaged by impacts that leave serrated gouges on titanium housings, or lights reflecting off pale skin just beyond visibility. In 2019, a Japanese research sub near the Mariana Trench reported a brief thermal bloom on infrared, something warm-blooded and massive, passing close enough to register before fleeing into colder water. What ties these threads together is the trench itself as Earth's final sanctuary, a vertical wilderness where natural selection could favor not just survival, but active concealment. Partial endothermy already gave Megalodon an edge in intelligence over fully cold-blooded sharks. Modern great whites demonstrate problem-solving and social hunting. In the abyss, with food scarce and intruders rare but deadly, humanity's noisy machines, any remnant population might have evolved heightened caution, avoiding light sources, silencing bioluminescent prey responses, even recognizing submersible patterns as threats. Hydrothermal vents offer warm refuges for breeding, while vast hadal plains provide hunting grounds patrolled only by the sharks themselves. Over 3 million years, genetic drift and isolation could produce a trench-adapted lineage, darker coloration, reduced size for efficiency, enhanced electroreception to detect metal holes from miles away. They would not surface. They would not need to. Whale falls and deep squids sustain them, while humanity's brief visits register as fleeting disturbances to be avoided. This is not conspiracy, it is convergent evolution toward invisibility in a world that punishes the seen. Together, these 5 theories form a mosaic of possibility. The unexplored vastness that hides entire ecosystems, teeth that refuse to fossilize fully, sonar ghosts that shadow our machines, biological adaptations that rewrite extinction, and a behavioral legacy that turns the hunter into the ultimate evader. Science remains firm. Global cooling, prey collapse, and competition from nimbler predators like orcas and early humans likely drove Megalodon to extinction. No confirmed living specimen, no DNA trace, no unambiguous photo. Yet the ocean has humbled us before. The colossal squid, rumored for centuries, was filmed alive only in 2004. The megamouth shark evaded discovery until 1976. In a habitat 95% unseen, where pressure and darkness forge life we barely comprehend, certainty feels premature. Stand on any beach tonight, watch the waves roll in under starlight, and consider this. Every swell carries water that has touched the trench floor. Every current links surface to abyss. Megalodon once ruled those connections, and if even one bloodline endured, it rules still in silence, in shadow, waiting for the world to forget just long enough to look away. The monster may not charge boats or beach itself in spectacle. It may simply watch from below, patient as the tides, ancient as the trenches themselves. We search for proof, but perhaps the real evidence is the chill we feel when the water goes suddenly still. If these depths have stirred something primal in you, if the thought of an unseen giant gliding beneath the waves makes every swim feel different, then subscribe now and ring the bell. We descend into more forbidden mysteries every week. Lost species, unexplained signals, places on Earth that still belong to the unknown. Like this video if one theory convinced you the abyss isn't empty. Comment below, which of the 5 keeps you up at night? Fresh teeth, sonar shadows, or the idea that it's watching back? Share this with someone who laughs at monster stories. Let them try sleeping after hearing these. Thank you for braving the pressure with us. The ocean is deeper than we know, and something down there knows we're only visitors. Until the next dive, keep your lights on and your eyes on the dark.